Hello, this is Jeff Al Gilbert. Is promoting your opportunity or your business a lie if you're not making money yet? Those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing now for 40 years. I started in this business totally broke. I sold a junk truck for $400 to get started, put $200 into my business. Share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. And there is Arthur. He's going to raid my show again. You got something? Oh, he's getting self-conscious. No, not tonight, Arthur, not tonight. You're not doing this to me tonight. I don't know what it is with kids. I don't know what it is with kids. Are there any parents out there that understand this stuff? Hey, Debbie, nice to see you. Deanna from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you. Maybe you improved my ratings. I don't know. I think you did that enough. Thank you. Yes, that's Arthur, Rhonda. Nice to see you. George, A. from New York City. Good to see you. Priscilla Smith out in Maine. How are you, Priscilla? You know, hopefully your snow is tapering off a little bit and spring is coming. There's hope. So, here's the thing, something I've always appreciated about network marketing is and this is what I remind the hecklers, the people that try to disparage our profession, try to find fault with our profession, is that network marketing is like any profession. Nobody starts in a profession with money in their pocket. You know, even if you go to school and you go get a university degree, all those years that you're spending that time to study, understand, go through tests, all the things that you go through to get that degree, you never got paid during any of that time. So you began that with no money in your pocket. Now, for some reason, they think that network marketing should be different, that we should have a lot of money in our pocket from the very time that we sign an application. Is that really reasonable? The other professions don't do that. Doctors don't go through that. Lawyers don't go through that. Physicists don't do that. And even when they finally get the degree, that means that they can now teach it or practice it. Isn't it interesting, even after doctors get an education, maybe even 8 years into it, and they finally get their degree that they can put up on the wall, then they got to sign out front and then they say, practice? Practice? You mean they're still practicing? Yeah. And they're going to practice on me? Yeah. That's right. But a networker? Never. You cannot practice on people if you're a networker, but you can if you're a doctor. That's okay. No problem. Yeah, see, isn't that messed up? That is so messed up. And it's okay if they want to be messed up, but don't let them mess you up. Don't ever buy into that kind of thinking. That you should have to have money in your pocket in order to be qualified to teach it to others. I got to remember, I was talking to my good friend Diane Hockman, and sometimes there's this tendency, I want to look into the center of the screen, and she says, Jeff, your camera is over to the left. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to break that habit. Okay, work with me on that. So, here's this thing that we, and here's the thing. So we, as network marketers, when we begin in this business, and some of us, again, we were accidental leaders. We didn't plan on being leaders. We just found a product, used a product, liked the product, shared the product. Next thing you know, we have a group, and then they say, you're the leader, and then they're handing the marker and the board to you and say, lead, teach. It's like, oh my gosh, we're in this learning curve, and when we're in that learning curve, it's just like going to school. I think when I graduated from high school, they only passed me. They wanted to get rid of me, and we feel that way. We're in the learning curve in network marketing. We're either going to make A's, some of us make B's, some of us make D's and F's in terms of how our performance turns out. But until we get good at applying the things that we're taught, we're going to stay in that learning curve. Now, in the learning curve, you're really not making money. When you're in the learning curve, you're going to school. Now, it's up to us to decide how long we want to be in that school. Have any of you ever had to go to summer school? Do you know do they have that anymore? Do they have summer school? I don't know. When I went to high school back in 1973 through 75, they did have it. And yes, one year I had to go to summer school because I did not apply myself during the school year. So guess what? I didn't get to have fun that summer. I had to go to school. So in network marketing, I see that if people are not, and different people, different results. Some people come out of the learning curve quickly. Some of them are slower. And then people will form different opinions about who goes into it, how long they're there, and they judge our profession based on that. So sometimes we sort of bring that on ourselves to a degree. But the thing is, if you want to get out of that learning curve quicker, execute your training faster. Remember, success loves speed. It loves, what do you remember that movie, Top Gun? That was one of the lines that Tom Cruise said. I have a need for speed. Well, success does too. So it's not about always learning something new. It's about executing more quickly the things that we know. And then we get out of that learning curve. So the one thing that we have to remember, though, is that sometimes when we allow that criticism to affect us, then we become more aware of our own insecurities about ourselves, our own inabilities. Maybe we haven't done, we've never been involved in a business like this before. We've never been self-employed. We've had a job most of our life, and we always set the alarm clock because we know what time we have to be at work. And then when we're at work, we know what time we get to leave work, right? So other people sort of rule our time for us. But when we come in a business like this, that's not the case. We have to take action. We have to form that discipline in, scheduling our time, making sure that we are disciplined with the use of the time, who we're spending that time with. But at the same time, we are aware of the fact that, man, I'm so new at this. I've never done anything like this before. I remember I went through that. I went through, thinking, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe, I'm not a salesperson. I've never, that's just not me. So we'll have this stinking thinking, and we got to do a checkup from the neck up on how this affects us. It's okay to feel like, that that you were never a confident person, maybe, to do something like the network marketing profession, that you're insecure about your own abilities. We all started that way. And the way we got out of that is through that learning curve, by kicking ourselves out of that learning curve, mastering the basics. And then remember this: what creates momentum is monotony. Doing the same old boring things over and over and over again. And as a result, you get results. You get results in your business. Because people are looking for the fireworks. Teach me something spectacular or new. Remember the Karate Kid? You remember Miyagi in the movie Karate Kid? And when the young boy wanted to learn karate, and he went over to the man's house, he was so proud that he was going to learn karate. And what he taught him? Wax on, wax off. Here's some cloths. Here's some wax. Now, go wax my cars. Wax on, wax off. And he was so mad about it. He said, this is so freaking boring. I can't believe it. I came over here to learn karate, and he has me do wax on, wax off. Well, he finally found out those were important karate moves, but he didn't understand it. So the same is true for you. Just understand what creates momentum is monotony. It's doing the same old things over and over again. And if you're willing to do that, then you're going to see results in your business. The thing is that when we don't have the confidence, and maybe we're more focused on our insecurities, there's that tendency to reach upline. In other words, let's let them do it for us. Yeah, they're the experts, right? Why should I have to be the leader? Why should I have to be the one who has to explain things and all that? Isn't that their job? After all, they get paid on me. The thing about it is, unless we become the leader for our own team is going to follow someone else. It's just important to realize that that's part of the learning curve. Developing your own leadership, believing that you are and can be a great leader. And that's the thing. It just takes time to build that confidence. So, and then the other tendency is that because we don't have a story, we don't have a success story, there's a tendency to reach up and say, hey, I need to borrow your story to our upline. Sometimes that's fine. There's nothing totally wrong with that. But I think what is wrong is if we feel like we never have a story. And then understand that not having a story is all part of the story. Because look at me, I started with nothing. I was totally broke. What if my story was like this? I was born in a family of network marketers. I was a third generation, let's say Amway leader. I was a third generation. So my father, he was a triple diamond, whatever, rank position. His father, that is my grandfather, was triple diamond. So that's part of my story. I'm three generations of Amway. So we've been in money, came from money. I was taught all the right things, did all the right things. Is that a relatable story versus my story? My real story is I started in this business. I used to have a cleaning business for 13 years. I had two major accounts. I worked nights, mopping floors, stripping floors. That's what I did. Nothing spectacular, pretty dirty stuff. Get home at 7 in the morning, roll out again at 11 o'clock at night. That's what I did prior to network marketing. Lost my two major accounts, went through bankruptcy, had to start with no money. I sold a junk truck to get started and couldn't afford a phone bill, so my sponsors mailed me a cell phone so that I could at least make some phone calls. I had my car repossessed. I had my utilities turned off. I went through so much. There was nothing for me. It was everything against me. I had no advantages. See, what makes a better story? So just understand, I'm not saying that if you were a third generation Amway person that you're never going to have a story and you're going to be lousy in this profession. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that when you think you don't have a story, your story already began. You just don't know it. You just don't know it. It already began. And if you started broke and you're going to go out there and you're going to talk opportunity when you're not making any money, is that a lie? That was the question of this, tonight's subject. Is that a lie? To talk opportunity, talk about your opportunity when you're broke. Should you have a guilty conscience about that? Are you going to be on your knees tonight asking God to forgive you? See, that's a question to talk about tonight, isn't it? So let me just deal with that, okay? I'm going to give you the short answer, okay? Since I'm not a politician. Short answer is no. That is not a lie. It's not a lie at all. And that's the short answer. But let me just go back though. When someone would ask me, how much money are you making in this? And I'm not making any money yet, right? And of course, I went through that. How did I handle that? I wouldn't lie. I don't want to do that. A lot of people do. We heard the fake it till you make it. Well, I don't believe in fake it until you make it. Fake it is lying. I don't have, So here's my approach to this, and this is how I answered that. I said, is the question that you're asking, are there people making significant money in this business? Or am I making significant money in this business? Which is more important to you? And I'll wait for their response. And if they say, well, no, yeah, is anybody making any, sure. Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely. And then in that case, I don't mind sharing my upline story. Somebody in my upline, yeah, some guy in my upline, had to sell a junk truck to get started, put $200 into business. Now he's in 57 countries, living off residual income, blah, 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 Okay, fine. If the story is true, the story is true. If there are people making money in this profession, if that's true, then it's true. It's not a lie. And to talk about it is certainly not a lie because it's the truth. Now, if they want to narrow it down to me, and I remember sometimes saying, well, do you think I would be better at this than you, or you would be better at this than me? Because I just got started. And that's a lot, and that's usually what I've always said back when I did get started. I'd say, I just got started. So, good question. So right now, I'm just getting going. So I haven't had enough time to really get my income established yet, but I'm on my way. But if you're wanting to know, are there people making money in this company? Absolutely. I would be glad to introduce you to some of the seasoned leaders that are in my upline. I can do a 3-way call. You need to hear their story. You will be very inspired about what's going on. That's how I usually answered that. There's different ways that you can, sometimes you can say, if you're brand new, or I say brand new. No, why don't we just say that you've been in for a while? Let's say that you've been in for a while. Because they might say, well, how long have you been in? And then the next question they're going to hit you with is, how much are you making? Okay, so you might have been in 6 months. Let's say you've been in a year. You've been in a year. But during that period of time, you were mostly a product user. Were you really in the business? No, you were not in the business. Well, then at what time did you really get in the business? You got in the business when you committed to get in the business. And that began when you started sponsoring people responsibly. So in other words, you didn't just share the product casually with a friend or two. You know, we do that with everything. But this is when you made a decision, I am going to do this, and you began building. So whether that was a year in, 2 years in, it doesn't matter. Time started when the commitment began. When the commitment began, that's when the clock started ticking. So, again, it's all about being truthful, honest. I'm all for that. But that would be the truth. That was when you started. And you can tell somebody that. Say, you know what? That's a really good question. You know, I started using this product and I got great benefits from it, but I didn't think about working the business part. But when I saw what it did for me, I thought, how can I not tell others about it? And then I just made a decision. I'm going to do this. I want the world to know about this product. So those are all good answers. I've used them all. And I found that they work very effectively. So, you know, and here's the thing. If they have it just down to you and they've made this all about you, it wouldn't matter if you were making $10,000 a month. They're basically, you know, if they're going to make a big issue of that, then they're just blowing you off. They're just blowing you off. So no loss there. You know, we have a saying, some will, some won't. So what? Next. And that needs to be our attitude. So here's the question. The acid test is are people making money in the network marketing profession? They can Google that and find that out. I mean, there are so many. Business for Home, for example, TED. I don't know if you look for, you can Google it, Business for Home. Even TED will list the people in that online publication who are some of the top earners in the world, and he has me in that list. I haven't checked to see, you know, I haven't looked at the 2018 report yet, so I don't know where I stand with that, but it's there. It's there. So, you know what, here's the thing that I want us to do, though, is, you know, I think it's been so much of a problem for so long with some of the people out there that they're waiting to make a certain income. They have this attitude that I have to make a certain income before I can talk to people about this, because they're not comfortable about talking about it unless they are making a certain income. And they just don't feel, they're not comfortable with it. But here's the thing. If you don't start talking about it, how are you ever going to make an income? How are you going to create an income if you don't ever talk about it? So we can't wait. I mean, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Okay. What's going to come first is you have to take action. That's it. Take action. Just get going. And keep your steps simple. You know, you've heard me say this in the past. If your system is more than 3 or 4 steps, it's complicated. It's, you know, just keep it simple. All people need to know is basically what your opportunity is about, and your opportunity needs to be rooted in your product. That's the whole basis of your opportunity. If you can show, validate the product's efficacy, that it does work, it is the things that, you know, you might have a great Facebook group, a product group with testimonies you can plug them into. Awesome. You're going to see great results from that if you do that. And then that's it. You put them in. I can remember my first 90 days starting brand new, no group. I didn't bring a team over. And I signed some new people up, just hit the floor running. That was 20 years ago. We put in 800 people in 90 days. 800 people in 90 days. So the thing about it is that was because we kept it so simple. Today, everybody wants to complicate it with this system, this training, that training. Forget it. I didn't do all that. I just said there's nothing to this. You have a product, you have an opportunity, put them in. Why is that complicated? Some people want to complicate it. So don't wait until you're making money before you talk about your opportunity, because it's never going to happen. You're going to have to talk about your opportunity while you're broke. But just understand this, you're not selling a lie, because you know for a fact there's people in your upline doing very well, that will be glad to help you. And that's all people need to know about when they ask the question, are there people making, are you making money? Just ask them, just repeat it back to them, say, well, are you asking, am I, or are there people making money in this company? I mean, significant money. And the answer would be yes. There's just different ways. You can, if you got a better way to say that, then say it. So the thing that we don't want to do is think that we have to be a special person to do this. That we have to be a special person before we start making money in network marketing. I'm going to tell you, we don't. We all started off scared to death, insecure, had doubts, had fears. We had all those things. But you know what? We had breakthroughs, and our breakthrough was when we just did it, when we executed those things we already know. That is how to show our product, how to talk about our product, how to talk about our opportunity. Basic things. And then asking them, do you want to be a part of this? It's not being a salesperson. It's like you're acting as a consultant. You're wanting to help them. You're not asking them to help you. And that's where we need to come from in this business. It's about helping people. Remember, people, they're not looking for your opportunity. They're not looking for your product. What are they looking for? Solutions to their problems in life. And that's what we have to always keep in front of us. We're the healer. There's a lot of hurting people out there. We're the healer. We're the one that's going to show the way, go the way. And that's what we want to do with these people. So step one, this is one thing I want you to really feel good about. Step one is, if you're making $100 a month in your network marketing company, I want you to keep, stick up your chin and stick out your chest, okay? Feel real good about it, okay? Feel real good. And if you're making $500 a month, the same. Stick up your chin, stick out your chest, feel good about it. Feel proud about it. Because we were all there. I can remember my first $100 check. And I can remember my wife at the time who ridiculed me about that $100 check, okay? But I'm going to tell you, but that beginning right there, that $100 check over a period of time became millions. And when you divide the years, into the millions, that first $100 check was not a $100 check. That first check was today worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's all about perspective. It really is. It's about perspective. Feel proud about the check that you're making, because just a few years from now, it can be very significant. A few years from now, you could be a 5-figure earner. After that, you could be a 6-figure earner. I'm talking about annually. It has to be annual before it goes monthly. And then years from now, yes, you could be earning millions of dollars. Because I saw it in my own life. I've seen it in Angel Fletcher's life, a woman that went from food stamps 6 years ago to a millionaire today. How's that happen? She wanted it. She wanted it bad. I wanted it. I wanted it bad. And as we say in the South, you gotta wanna. You gotta wanna. And if you gotta wanna bad enough, then you're gonna get it done. You're gonna get it done. So one thing I learned that helped me back then, and that was this concept called modeling. Modeling means that if you do what successful people do, you will get what they have gotten. And I understood that. I understood that before I was in network marketing. because I was curious about people that made money. And I thought, well, how did they make that money? And what they do? What can I learn from that? Well, in network marketing, that's true also. If you will model those people that are successful in this business, and if you do what they do, you will get what they have gotten. And I understood that. And that was one thing I did. I always made sure that to hang with people, get tight with people that are successful in this business. You know, I wasn't interested in the people that were always striking out. I wasn't interested in the people who complained about the profession. I wasn't interested in the people that couldn't hit home runs. I was always curious about the people that could. And those are the people I wanted to gather around. Those were the people that I wanted to get close to when they were having conversations, when they were whispering to others. What are they whispering about? If I can learn what they know and apply it, how would that affect me? And then how would that affect my income? That's called modeling. And I want you to get good at that. This is the reason why I do these Facebook Live calls. You know, it's because, you know, one thing is it keeps my mind alert. I need to teach. But a lot of times the very things that I know that I take for granted, I assume everybody out there know, you know, they know that. I mean, think about my good friend Eric Worre. I was just talking to some friends tonight, and I was talking about the fact that the GoPro book, his GoPro book, there was nothing new or unique about that book. I mean, it was a great book. But what I'm saying is, Eric was teaching the basics. Well, I had been practicing those basics for 25 years before that book was written, doing those very things in that book. But you know what? To people that had never heard it, it was new. And there were a lot of people out there that had not heard it. The curse of knowledge is the assumption that people know what we know. And they don't. And you can put it in a book and it can become a bestseller like Eric's did. Or, you know, my good friend Ray Higdon, I was so happy, you know, I was so happy to get a message from him the other day. He just said, hey, I want to give you a heads up. My new book, Freakishly Effective Leadership for Network Marketers, is now available on Amazon. It's already the #1 bestseller in the network marketing category. And he said, I want you to know I mentioned you in that book. And I thought, wow. And I just said back, thanks, man. You're just too nice to me. Thank you. Well, when I got the book, I looked, and page 77, the whole page is about me. The whole entire page. You got Jeff Alkiover. It's at the top of the page. And earlier, Ray had asked me questions about my viewpoints on certain questions he had. I want your viewpoints. And he asked me that some time back. And he had that whole thing published in that page. Now, he did the same thing for Angel Fletcher, Ryan, as well as Nicola Jackson. But anyway, Ray featured 4 leaders in his book. But I was one of them, and I'm on page 77 in that book. I was very surprised. He just played it down. Yeah, I mentioned you. I'm a whole page 77. That's it. You mentioned me? What a nice guy he is. Well, I love giving out value, and that's the thing. And again, it helps me stay sharp. I like helping people. If you got value from this tonight, you can share it. But you know, here's the thing. You know, what I encourage you to do is just continue to educate yourself, because even when you get out of the learning curve, I'm telling you, the education never ends. There is no graduation of this. When it comes to network marketing, every day I wake up, I ask the question, how do you do network marketing today? See, I know how we did it 20 years ago. I know how we did it 10 years ago. Look how Facebook is changing so much. I was talking to Diane Hockman yesterday. We were 2 hours on the phone, or actually on a Zoom call together, just me and her talking. And she was saying, Jeff, get ready, man. Facebook is really shaking things up. A lot of it's going to change in the future. And I said, okay. And, well, you know, she gave me one example. She said, because of lawsuits and things like that, she said, you know, for example, the news feed, that's probably going to disappear. You notice that when you post something, it asks you a question, do you want to add this to your stories, or do you want to always have your whatever you post to stories? You say, okay, then why do they do that? She said, eventually news feed's going to disappear because you can't share stories. And she was saying that when you post something today, it can go viral in just a minute or a couple of minutes. And so when the news feed's not there and it's all shared in stories, yeah, that's going to change things. A lot of things will change. The thing about it is we adapt and we change to new methods. The principles never change, just our methods. And that's the reason why, you know, remaining a student in this profession is going to be absolutely imperative to your long-term success in network marketing. This I understand very well, which is why I like to stay close, even myself, to certain people who, you know, really keep their ear to the ground in these areas, because I want to know always what's going on, and wherever I have to make adjustments, I want to make adjustments. So that's the thing. So I'm always going to share that on these calls, and I want to share these on this call. But here's the thing. So again, promoting success, even on your Facebook page, is not a lie. If you're just getting started, you're not making money, you want to promote success, promote it. But, you know, the fact is, there's a lot of wealthy people, many, many wealthy people in network marketing. That's a fact. That's true. And if you have some and you're part of a team and they're doing well, nothing wrong with sharing what's going on in their life as well. It gives people insight to what's possible. Doesn't guarantee their success, but what's possible. But just keep in mind, don't compare what you are presently making to anyone in your upline or in another team. Don't do that. Here's who you compare yourself to. You compare yourself to yourself. How much, other than money, how much have you grown personally because you've been exposed to network marketing? You've been exposed to these trainings. You've been exposed to the company that you're in. How has that impacted your life? How has that impacted your marriage? How has that impacted you being a parent with your children? Patience helps. You have to be patient with a lot of leaders. Sometimes you want to just, you know. So we learn a lot through this process. But don't compare what you're earning to. Sorry, no, someone's trying to call me. Anyway, but here's what amazes me though, is that when people that earn 6 figures or 7 figures make people who earn $500 a month a loser, make them feel like a loser. You know, you could be earning what we're earning if you would only be like us. You know what? Here's the thing. It is a fact, and it's true, that some people find better people sooner than others. Why? Because that's the cards that they were dealt. Destiny didn't determine it, neither did God. It's just what happened. The thing about it is, even when you're given a bad hand, keep playing, but play that bad hand well. Play it well. And if you stay in the game long enough, you'll win. And that's why you don't need to compare yourself to others. It's not that they had better talent. It's not that they were smarter than you. They simply found their leaders maybe quicker than you did. Maybe it's going to take longer than you. It's not if you're going to find them, it's when you're going to find them. And you could be 3 days away from that, 3 weeks away from that, 3 months away from that. Just give it time, stay the process. That's the thing that we do. Don't feel bad. Again, I'd like to see us celebrating more often the $500 a month earners than talk about the guy in our upline who's making 6 figures a month. People can't imagine more than double what they're earning. So believe me, if you're making $500, your story is a lot more appealing to them because it's believable. And the other guy sounds like the man on the moon. It's just not believable to people. And when it's not believable, it sounds like a scam. So again, you're not selling a lie if you teach people how to be successful in this business. I hope you got value out of this Facebook Live call Friday night. Friday night, you spending time with me? What's up with that? You don't have a date? Yeah, you're saying, well, Jeff, what about you? You don't have a date? Yeah, life is rough in the mountains. What can I say? You know, we were out today. I was, hey, guys, and I got some friends who just came in. Why don't you come here and say hi? Come on. Come on. I took them over to the bear den up the street from me, up the mountain here. I took them where there was a bear den. And so this is I say Luz. Luz. She is Spanish. She is not French. Okay, but Luz almost sounds French.
From Colombia.
She's from Colombia, and this is Ciro. Ciro. See? What can I say? My family line came from Germany, but they just came all the way from the state of Utah to have a mentoring day with me. And so I spent the day with them doing that. And then I took them up the mountain here to show them a bear den.
Yeah.
And you like seeing those baby bears?
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful.
Weren't they wonderful? Beautiful faces those little cubs had. Well, they're yearlings. They're just, but so beautiful. Yeah. Well, okay. I just thought I'd bring you guys in. And
good time with you.
And thank you because he supported everybody, and we are so grateful for you.
well, it was great
Thank you.
great to have you here today. Really, it was.
We have another day tomorrow, so we're going to be able to.
Got a half a day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So everyone, if you're in Asia, have a wonderful day. And for those of you in North, South America, have a wonderful evening with your family. I'll put out some value this weekend, okay? I will do that, I promise you. I love all of you guys, and I look forward to seeing you, all of you, on my next live call. Take care.